Hello, and welcome to the DecentraWise Podcast. My name is Pedro. I know
Uh,
it doesn't seem like that because I cut my long beard, but it's me. It's still me. Can you believe it?
yeah, well, we'll figure out if it's you or if Pedro was kidnapped by aliens and they replaced it with somebody else.
I'm the alien.
Yeah, you look like an alien right now.
I look like you. You have
Yeah,
the same beard.
I'm an alien. So, and I'm Miguel. So, and you just join us in our mission to decentralize the world wisely.
And first, I'm sorry for starting late today because I had a long trip by car and I got delayed a little bit. So yeah, that's life. Life sometimes sucks.
Yeah,
Anyway, uh, today we have a very fun episode. Not fun,
yeah. Come on,
useful,
this is not
useful episode.
fun. It's security and privacy. It's hardly fun. It's boring
Yeah,
subject.
it's not fun, but it's useful. And
Yep, always.
I really think that we will have a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. I think we can start by explaining people how blockchain technology functions and how the internals work and how it relates to privacy and security. So I think it's a good start to give this overview. So do you want to make the kickstart?
So the question is how blockchain works.
Yeah, how blockchain works and then how it relates
At
to
what level?
security and privacy.
Because
Well,
blockchain is
that's what I want.
a mix
That's
of
what I want
things.
to boot up. It's well, it works this way, and then because of that, it has this security or privacy issues.
Okay. So uh, first, in relation to how blockchains in general work, they are block chains, right? So
Well, there are chains of blocks. Let's go for that.
so it's a chain of blocks. And what is a block? A block is a piece of information with usually what we call transactions in it, because most ledgers, most blockchains are a ledger, right? So what blocks contain transactions, and those transactions can be anything. There are blockchains that just transfer funds, right? They have
Yep.
a token and a coin, and that coin moves around. But there are blockchains that do a lot of things.
Yeah, well, let's start with the
So
easiest one, which is Bitcoin.
yeah,
So Bitcoin only has money transfers from one
Bitcoin is
account to another.
a different thing
Yeah, but it's the
because
easiest. I think it's the simplest
yes,
to explain.
but the it's not because doesn't have transactions actually.
Hmm.
So and that makes it a little bit difficult to explain to a general user because Bitcoin is an UTXO based ledger. So what the blocks contain are UTXOs and new UTXOs, and they give they cancel or spend UTXOs and create new UTXOs. So it's a little bit more difficult to explain because of that. Because UTXOs are a result of a transaction in Bitcoin, which is like unspent transaction result, right? So or output. So
Mhm.
uh, every transaction in Bitcoin is done through one or more UTXOs as inputs and one or more UTXOs as outputs, right? And that is a little bit more difficult to have a grasp. Imagining that it's different. It's a chain that has transactions. Like I sent one coin to you, and that's it. That's one transaction, right? And it's stored in a block, and that block contains the hash of the previous block in the chain.
Mhm.
And if we are talking about the proof of work system, it will have uh, the block hash. The actual block hash has to be to validate certain conditions, like the conditions required for the difficulty of the network. Um, in a proof of work chain, it's the way it works, and in a proof of stake chain, it requires signatures of validators, right? So validators have to sign the block, the validator that produces the block, and then the next validators need to sign the next blocks on top of that one to consider that block valid and consider it
Just
after a certain number of validators validating a block on top of that block will be considered unchangeable. Like
yeah, let me just explain a little bit why it's unchangeable. Because when you generate a block, then that block results in an hash, and that hash is going to be used as the piece of the new block, and that new block will have a result of an hash that includes the hash of the previous block, and that's what makes it immutable. It's the end. That's what makes also a chain, because the new block is always dependent on the previous one.
yeah,
So yeah, that's what I wanted to refer, and that's why that's how it makes it immutable for the whole history.
that is the chain part of the blocks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's a
that's what
chain.
makes it chain, because it's linked to
Yeah,
the hash of the previous block.
it's a chain of ashes that have to belong to the next block, and then the ash of the next block contains
Yeah,
the ash of the previous block, and so on and so forth. So um, it will create that linked list of blocks that are created on top of each other. Uh, so that is blockchain in a nutshell. Uh, this most of the blockchains have this all this mechanism at as public, right? So everyone can see what's going on. Um, we call it pseudonymous because uh, it's we cannot know if this transaction is a transaction made by me or made by you or made by Miguel, uh, because we only have an address, and that address is not linked to a physical person. Uh, but the problem is with so few onboarding and offboarding uh, bridges, right? Like or what we call on and off ramps from crypto. It's very easy to map which which addresses belong to whom, right? It's
yeah,
peanuts
not
with the
not
technology that
only
we have
yeah, not
today.
only that, because it's trackable by IP address also. Right now, you can track it. Well, not you, but whoever the powers may be they can track it by your IP address.
But it's not easy, and there are Bitcoin,
Well, it's
since
not easy for you. It's
every
if you go
chain.
to the government level, they can track
No,
it.
I can.
If you go to the police level, they can
It's
track it.
not because I can't,
No,
but
no, no.
there are
But it's
mechanisms.
not easy, and it's not it's not that linear for you. Because you don't have the history of IP addresses and who is connected to. But if you go to an internet provider, they will have all the
Yeah,
history of IP addresses and who connects to what.
but Bitcoin, since the inception, is prepared to work with Tor, and you can run your node through Tor network easily. So
Yeah.
it's prepared directly in the node software to work through Tor. For the people that don't know what Tor is what they call the dark web.
Well, it's not. It gives you access to the dark web, but it's not the dark web. It's just
It's
a
called the
way of
Onion.
proxying. Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
the
It's the
Onion
onion router.
protocol,
Yeah, that's
and
what Tor means. It's the onion router.
yeah,
So
and it's another piece of technology that is really cool, uh, because it makes that some communication between me and Miguel, if it has to go through an entry node in the network, that entry node will know that I sent something, but they won't know to whom.
yeah, it
And
will end up. It will end up in the destiny somehow.
and that entry node will know that it has to send the message to someone, but that it doesn't know that that someone is the end or not, because of the onion. It's a series of layers, right?
Yeah,
So he knows just these two layers. He got a message. He doesn't know that is the start of the message, and he doesn't know if it's the end of the message. So he knows that there is a message that I sent, and that it has to be delivered to the node X, and then the X to Z, and then the Z to Miguel, and only the uh, last address in the chain knows who Miguel is, but he doesn't know if it's the end of the message or not. Only Miguel knows that message is for him.
yeah,
So this is very cool. This is
yeah, and
very
it's
interesting.
slow. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. It's quite slow because it has to work around all the internet in order to get to me.
man. I
But yeah,
usually
well, it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it.
with more. Do you run a Tor node?
Yeah,
You run?
yeah.
Okay, I run two or three, just here. So we are helping. If all of us help the network,
Yeah,
then
it makes it
the
faster.
network becomes better, right?
Yeah,
But it's really cool. I love the idea of Onion protocol and uh, and Tor network, because it doesn't have to be. And we are starting to talk about privacy and the importance of privacy here. Uh, for instance, just think about your bank account, right? Would you like that all your colleagues at work knew your salary, for instance? Do you think it's good? It's uh, just that information, or where you buy your groceries, uh, or if you buy a dildo from Amazon, or I was trying to
well, yeah,
keep
it's a
a
matter.
serious face talking about dildos in this in this channel, but I don't
Yeah,
think
it
it's
makes a lot of
it's
sense.
it's
Makes a
possible.
lot of sense. Yeah, the thing is about it's about privacy, and for each people, privacy requirements are different. So there are people that don't really care, and I'm starting to see that most people don't really care about
No,
privacy.
they
But
don't really care about privacy until they lose it in some of these
well, of course,
situations.
the thing is that they
Then they
are not
care.
being bothered. They are not being bothered by it. But everybody knows about those
But speaking about
little
dildos,
privacy, things.
your gloves are similar to a cheerleader.
Really,
That is
it's,
very that's
it's very furry, but they are really warm.
you'll start
Yeah,
DecentraWise Podcast.
yeah.
No,
That's for later.
okay, okay.
But well, as I was saying, everybody has different privacy requirements, and I'm seeing that most people are not really bothered about it. And you have, even though that you have those memes that Alexa hears everything, or that you say something near your phone and then you start receiving advertising about
That's
that.
not a meme. That's true.
Yeah, I know. I know because I experimented it personally,
Yeah, me too. It's
and and it
terrifying.
and it's not even, you don't even need to say hey Alexa.
No, you just
It
talk
just
about.
listens.
I was talking about with my wife about something, and she was checking the phone afterwards, like seconds
Yeah,
afterwards, and
yeah. What do you
advertisement
know? We were just
the next
talking about this.
advertisement that she sees on Google is uh, something about what we just said,
Yeah,
and it's happening all the time. And we are Apple users. We don't use Android, so the
yeah. But you use
connections.
iPhone. It's the same.
Yeah, but Apple usually has the security in mind most of the time. But we have a lot of applications from Google installed, and Google Search should be doing the shit in the background, and that's it's terrifying. But until it is uh,
Yeah,
very
but
inconvenient,
Alexa is not. It's not Google. It's Apple.
I don't care.
So
No, it's not Alexa. It's the Google Assistant. It's
no,
the
no,
same
no.
thing.
Yeah, well, both of them do the same thing.
Yeah, and you have Siri as well. And I
Yeah,
don't know if they exchange information between all of those and stuff like that. But I consider that a risk that I am aware of, and uh, uh, that I will only get worried about it when I see some privacy issues. When it just shows me stuff that I want to see, I'm okay with that. It's terrifying still,
yeah.
because
Honestly,
mass.
I'm not okay with that.
I'm not. It's not that I'm okay. I'm still
Yeah, because it's not affecting
don't
negatively
like it.
your life, but it's a security breach,
Yes, and
and that people, and that's why I'm saying that people
but it's
don't
useful,
don't
and
mind, because they are not getting a negative feedback for now.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't like it at all.
Technology wise is very very frightening, to say the least. To be very very soft,
Yeah,
uh, but it's still useful. For instance, I my main account is a Gmail account. I have all my stuff there, and of course I have all the measures of security and all that and so on. And I know that my account is hosted on Google and that Google has access to all my information. I have to live with it. Uh, what are the alternatives? Should I use another provider? They will do the same shit and sell it anyway, right? So my vision on that is that until it creates me some insecurity in some aspect, I'm okay. I
Yeah,
know that risk,
and I
and
mean, yeah, that's a false
I
sense of security
have
that I'm
have
talking
to
about.
feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, and that's a false sense of security that I'm talking about. When I talk to anybody, people just say, "Well, I don't really care. What are they doing with the information? I don't care. I
no,
don't
I
even
care.
know those people."
I
So
care,
yeah,
but
yeah, but I'm talking about the regular Joe, right? They don't care because
yeah,
they don't have a negative impact for now.
but that's
But
that's one
but
problem. That's one problem that it's very cool for us to talk about, because it's a question that I have and I don't know the answer, because uh, PGP or GPG are technologies that are available for ages, and the tools are there, ready to be used, and they didn't get integrated easily in all email providers. Uh, and I think it's because of that. They don't have incentives because they want our information and they want to control our information. And I don't know why there are no providers that integrate that people can use in all platforms and start screwing those service providers, and don't give them information because it's very easy, right? Uh, it's just a layer of encryption. There are public databases of public keys for PGP or GPG, and we can push our public keys to the network so that people can encrypt emails for us, right?
Mhm.
And we have our private keys to decrypt the mails, and it's solvable immediately today. It's done and it's tested and it's not used. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, encryption is secure today, but it doesn't guarantee for security tomorrow. Uh,
But no, I don't
but
care.
and I'm not
It's
excusing the misusage or the lack of usage
yeah,
of those
it's
technologies
insane.
because they should be used
Yeah,
until something better comes up, which we already have, like zero knowledge stuff. But it should be used. But if they were to be used, then could those companies access to our information? They couldn't.
they couldn't, but we can do it today. For instance, if I go to Mail, Apple Mail, which is in every damn laptop of Apple, that's what I use to read mails. And they don't supply. You have to buy a plugin to have PGP on the email.
Yeah,
Why? This doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
It should be standard, and it should
Yeah.
be mandatory actually for
Yes.
on all platforms.
It's serious, guys. It's very serious, this. And the problem is that we have all the tools needed and nobody uses because they want your data.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
people don't care. Like I was saying, because their lives is not being negatively impacted, they don't care. And when it does, nobody knows about it. Uh, Nobody hears anything about it, and everything is good, right? Because you don't have any negative feedback.
But I think that people will start to become worried very soon, because I don't know about uh, you guys, but at least me and probably you, Miguel, as well. I receive calls or text messages or emails with scams all the fucking time. And because I have a public address, and people just buy data that is breached here and there, and there, my name and my email and my phone appear in many of those leaked account data databases. And since we are in a niche as well that deals with a lot of money,
It's quite
uh,
easy to spot those kinds of fraud
yeah,
activities.
but
I re-
that is becoming very, very annoying and very
yeah, well, it is,
uh,
but it's not what.
intrusive.
Yeah, but it's not what really worries me. Like, for instance, if you go to China and you want to use some sort of communication technology like the internet, you have to use a very strict set of applications, which are all uh, owned by the Communist Party in China. So because they have so that they can have control of all the information that goes around. And what really scares me is about freedom. And it's not freedom like I can go to the store. It's not like that. It's freedom of thought. Because if you have a different way of thinking, you cannot express it. Because if you do, who knows what happens to you. And in China, if somebody disappears, nobody else knows about it. So that's what really scares me. It's not phishing stuff. I don't care about that.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about general people. General people will start getting annoyed with that and lose a bunch of money in the process, being scammed, and then they will start understanding that maybe privacy is an important thing, right? Because
Mhm.
the tools are there, it's all there. The encryption mechanisms used by blockchain and the hashing mechanisms are tools that were developed in the 70s or 60s,
Yeah.
right? It's not new technology, guys. It's the same thing as AI today. So last year there was this AI breakthrough. Breakthrough my ass,
Well, it's a
right?
breakthrough because you have the computing power to process stuff.
That's the same. That's the only thing, because now we have cloud computing. It's the only thing that
Yeah.
differs. When I started in technology, like 35 years ago or 40, uh, there was already AI.
Yeah, well,
One of my
it
first
was a different,
projects,
well, it was kind of a different technology, but you have TensorFlow like for, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
yeah, it's a different technology, but the AI was there already being developed and being
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
researched.
yeah. And the
I
concepts were there.
the first one of the first programs that I studied in my career was what was the name of it? Uh, it was that natural language processing that it's similar to
Oh, yeah,
uh,
with the brackets, that one with
Elisa.
the,
Elisa.
yeah.
It was made in Lisp,
Yeah,
and
Lisp. That's the
and
one
and
with the brackets, and it's really weird language.
it's the curly curly. It's
Yeah, it's some sort of
parentheses,
brackets, parentheses.
parentheses
Yeah,
all
something
everywhere.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So um, I was working with intelligence, artificial intelligence in the 80s,
yeah,
and it's not that is a breakthrough. It's now we have evolved the technology, of course, over the
and there's
years,
something, and there's something
and
else. It's the amount of data that those models have.
yeah,
Because right now, big companies have access to huge data,
yeah.
and huge data sets make better models.
So the encryption mechanisms are not new, and they are very secure. And Miguel was talking um, about encryption not being guaranteed for tomorrow with quantum computing and all that stuff. But that is light years away yet. And when it gets there, new technology is ready to be used instead of SHA-256 or whatever RSA technology we use at that time, right? So uh, the tools are there. They are not used. I don't know why.
Yeah, you
They
do know
should be.
why.
They
You
should be
know why.
used. I know why. I'm just being.
There is,
I don't want to point
if
fingers.
I remember correctly, there is a limitation on the encryption that on the encryption security that you are allowed to use on the internet. I think it's 256, because you cannot use a higher one on the internet, because it needs to be easily decryptable. Yeah, because every hashing technology is decryptable, and if you have enough computing power, it's decryptable within a good amount of time. And
But who made
you are not
is
allowed
the-
to use.
who makes
Uh,
those rules?
it's not about. I don't know. I read about it. I don't know, a
Yeah,
few years
but
ago.
you are talking about some of the protocols, but
Yeah.
not all. And the
No,
RSA is
internally,
is
you
not
can use whatever
decryptable.
you want. You use 2K encryptions, right? You don't use 256 because that's too insecure. You use 2048.
Yeah, but
So
it's
usually, but on the internet, you can use that locally. But on the internet, no provider and nothing uses above. I'm not sure if
but
it's
that's
158, 128, or 256.
that's on the TLS protocol, no?
I think
And
it's
that
on all internet protocols.
no,
That's what I'm talking about.
because I can make a connection to anywhere,
No,
and
you can, but you privately
yeah,
can connect to me in whatever hash size you want to connect. But it's not on the rest of the protocols on the internet. And
uh,
I'm talking about, it's like the providers. It's all encryption that goes around on the internet. If you are going to
that
peer to
could
peer,
be.
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that can be like the TLS or SSL or stuff
Yeah.
like that layer, but that is just the transport, right? And then the message is up to you to define. And if
Yeah,
they
you can have
don't
another
allow,
encryption on top of that.
yeah,
It's
of course,
it's not like that. It's That's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want, but the communication on the internet, it goes like that.
yeah. So these two finalize. Privacy is very important, and privacy on chain is usually none, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so you better watch out because if email is invaded like this that we talked about, imagine that they start doing the same shit with your finances and with
Yeah.
your
Well, if you want to go to CBDCs, I think that's what's going to happen.
yeah, of course it is.
It will be the worst financial nightmare for everybody.
So
I don't
imagine
want to
that
be.
you
I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I think it's where it goes.
imagine. I usually give this example about privacy, which is imagine that you have uh, an alcohol problem and you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you you cannot drink anymore, and then you get out, you have your job, and you go to the supermarket and buy your whiskey bottle, go to the cashier, and they don't allow you to pay for it because the doctor said that you are
Yeah,
not allowed to
there
drink
is a sort of no, well,
alcohol.
not, it's not a sort. It's there is a joke about it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And although you have money, you cannot spend it as you wish based on some external information that you usually could choose to comply or not, uh, but you lose that freedom.
yeah. Yeah, well, it's you lose the opportunity to choose, and it doesn't matter if it's a good choice or it's a bad choice.
It's a
It's your
bad
choice.
choice, clearly, in
No,
this
I don't care.
example,
It's your
but it's
choice.
your choice, right?
Yes,
And
and that's what you lose there.
yeah, so this is a problem. Or imagine
And
that
people
you
and people may
go to
say,
the
well,
doctor.
it's for your own good,
Yeah,
but who decides what is good for me?
yeah. Or you go to the doctor and he says that you have diabetes and you cannot
Yeah, and
enter
he
a
gives
candy
you.
store anymore because you cannot pay for it.
Yeah.
Uh, that is what it
Well,
what will happen
let's not go for
with
that, because
CBDCs.
if we are going to stuff like what you can eat or not, and as good as I do, that most ways of eating that are uh, advertised by health professionals is literally the worst diet that you can have. So they are trying to make you eat as bad as possible,
No,
and
they are trying to make you survive.
no,
Uh,
no. Well, the
to pay
Western
taxes.
the Western way of eating is definitely the worst diet that you can have. And this is not part of our discussion. The thing is, I don't think like that, and I improve my health a lot by not doing what the doctors say. So how would that fit in that scenario?
You should be able to think by yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing, and
That's the
I
aim.
actually like to think by myself. So
No,
I like to do my
why
own
should you?
digging. I like to dig my information. I like to have
No,
my own knowledge
I don't think.
and make my own decisions. And
I don't
that's
think
one
that
thing
should
that it's
be
scary.
allowed.
Yeah, but that's
People,
one of the things that it's quite scary,
yeah,
at least from my view.
it is very, very scary, and that's what you said. The majority of the people don't see it coming, and they will probably not see it until it's around them, and they are already trapped.
Yeah.
And that's a very problematic
Yeah,
situation.
I was finding the relation, that example from China, which I think it's for them, they are already inside that matrix, right? And it will be really hard for them to come out.
Yeah,
They are kind
but
of used to live like that already.
and China culturally is very different from the West. Uh, we cannot uh, we cannot compare apples to oranges because their idea of society is completely different. Asia in general is very different from the West. They have a completely different culture, and they rely much more on an entity to control the masses. They accept that much easily, much more easily than the Western world, where people were encouraged to uh, think by themselves and develop by themselves and um, don't expect to have anyone to save them in that process. And what I think that the leaders of the Western world are seeing is that m- mass control works very well in China and in Asia in general, and they are trying to go the same route. But I don't think we have the same culture, and
Kind
look at.
of, kind of. There are a lot of people with the same culture, and
But
you
I
can
was
see because
surprised.
because
I
you,
was.
you can see the move.
Let me just finish.
Yeah,
Let me just
sure.
finish. I was surprised with how fast the Western world was controlled
Yeah,
to put the fucking face masks on.
yeah.
That was a test.
No, and don't go just for the face mask. If you remember correctly, you were forbidden to get out of your house for I don't know, 10 to 20
I
days.
don't.
I don't recall.
I wasn't forbidden
Yeah, you were not, but I
because
was.
I live in the countryside, so I
I
have
didn't care. I didn't care
just
about
wild
those.
animals
I
around
didn't
me.
care about those things. And after a couple of days of staying at home, I picked up my family and went to the beach. And there were the police there, and they got to us and said, "You have to go home, or I will arrest you."
And you lost that opportunity.
Yeah, well,
Come on, man. You would then arrest me. What will you do with me? You will put me in a jail with a bunch of other guys? That is better for my health. That
yeah,
would be fun,
yeah. Well, they
right?
don't care. That because you know, and I knew at that time that that was not the point. The
Yeah,
point was to crack your back. So
and that was one of the very challenging situations for me that I really saw how easy people are breakable.
yeah,
It's very very easy, and maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get to the point where all our privacy is gone and uh, all our finances will be uh, available for everyone to track, and all our transactions and all those things. I try. I wake up every day uh, to try to push blockchain technology forward to try to avoid that.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. But it's very frightening how fast people just accept for their freedoms to be removed just because they send a bunch of bullshit in the mass media, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
very very
Yeah, well, I
worrying.
think you can find the parallel on that in the what we were talking about about privacy. I think it's you can trace a parallel between those two things. Liberty and privacy, I relate to the same thing.
Yeah, and
Lack of privacy removes your liberty.
just for the newcomers, I don't really care what's about that narrative that if you don't have anything to hide, then what's the problem?
Yeah,
And you shouldn't too. It's not that I have anything to hide. I have everything to hide. I don't
yeah.
want you to dig on my shit. That's it, right?
Well,
I don't
I
want
can I can
anything,
I, I can tell you
right?
something. Every guy has a dick, right? and every guy goes to have a piss from time to time, right? I don't want everybody looking at my dick while I piss.
I don't
Everybody knows that
care.
I have one.
I don't
Everybody knows that
care.
I have one. I don't
I
want
don't.
people looking. I
Yeah,
want my privacy.
yeah,
I have nothing to hide, but I don't want people looking at my dick while I piss.
yeah. I don't.
So,
It's not that I have something to hide. It's that I have all the things to hide.
yeah,
They are mine. I don't give a
exactly.
fuck who you are. They are
Yeah,
mine.
yeah,
So mind your own business. I mind mine. Okay,
exactly.
that's it. It's as simple as
Yeah.
that. And it's very annoying that people don't see things like that, and they start saying bullshit like that. You care because you have something to hide.
You
No,
are a fishy
that's not the case.
stuff. Yeah, well, I'm hiding stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't mean that they're bad
that's
stuff.
why that's why houses have walls and doors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
if
exactly.
if you would like, if you think that everything in your life should be public, why do you
Yeah,
have a
just
house?
yeah,
Just go put your mattress at the center of the village and go uh, have sex with your wife in the mattress so everybody knows and everybody sees.
yeah.
It's
But
fun,
you are hiding
right?
something. You are hiding
Yeah.
something when you have sex. Weird stuff there.
That's really annoying. That is one of the things that it really pisses me off, because that's bullshit,
Yeah,
right?
it's
All
fucking
of
funny.
our lives should be private. Period.
Yeah.
No
Unless I
one
want to expose
should.
something from my life and I want to
Yeah,
show to other people. If I want
and
to show my
with
bank
your
account, I can show
finances,
it. Yeah.
yeah, with your finances, it's very important. With your identification, it's very important. With your transactions, is very important. It's not that you have something to hide. It's not because you are buying marijuana to the guy down the street with dollars, because you can't do it with Bitcoin, of
Yeah.
course. It's not that shit. It's because it's your information, and it shouldn't be accessible to anyone. Worst of all, the governments,
Yeah. Well, those are the
because
guys
they
that want
are
to
the ones
control
that
you.
oppress and control,
Yeah.
right?
And the
And
bigger the
that's,
government, the
yeah.
bigger the control and oppression.
So that's why privacy is very important. And on-chain privacy is next to none. There are technologies to do it,
Yeah.
but usually they are not implemented,
And we are
right?
almost at the end of this episode, and we didn't go through any of the the items. We
Because,
need to make another one.
yeah,
We need to make another episode because we didn't go through any of the
we
items
will
I have
have
here.
we will have to extend this episode to the
Yeah,
next.
yeah. Let's do the next one next week.
Yeah, yeah. Next week we will continue with this subject, because
Yeah,
this is very important,
yeah.
and
It
people
is.
don't realize what they are dealing with in this situation. It's not a problem that you have a public network like Bitcoin. The problem starts with not having on and off ramps that are permissionless, trustless, and all of them are controlled by governments and entities. So
Yeah,
that's one thing we have to address, and the sooner the better. Let's build on and off ramps for all the crypto ecosystems that are not controlled by a single entity.
yeah.
This is very important, guys.
What
Let's
happened to local Bitcoin?
Local bitcoins was shut down because uh, that's the what came to public. It was that they were because of the uh, sanctions to Russia. The local bitcoins was a United States company, and the United States sanctioned Russia, and so the local bitcoins had to stop processing transactions from Russian, and they were the biggest market that they had, and they were out of business because of that. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
They were shut down because they were one of the very few. Uh, it's not that they were the only one, but they were the biggest of the
Yeah.
few that allowed peer-to-peer transactions in a trustless way in and out of crypto. And I really think that we need to solve this problem. We need to have on and off ramps that are not centralized exchanges. Guys,
Hmm.
build that shit. Or I will build one. Of course, I won't say that's me.
Too late. You are on
No,
YouTube.
no, I won't say it's me building that shit. But if no one does it, maybe we will do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's very very important, because that's the only way that they can control our lives in public blockchains. If we have secure private on and off ramps to and from crypto, they lose that ability. And that's very important. And I urge you guys, if one of the projects that is very interesting is Torchain, for instance. It doesn't work for fiat, but it does interchange trustless interchain swaps. It's very cool, and it's used by Shapeshift, which is a very freedom centric decentralized exchange, and uh, it was created by a very a guy that I respect very much, Eric Voorhees. Man, salute. And he is not the CEO anymore because it became a DAO, and it's a very interesting story around shapeshift and all the evolution of that exchange. So, yeah, I think we did a good job talking about why privacy matters. So, the next episode we will focus more about what tools we have for
Yeah.
privacy, right?
And how to do
And
stuff in a private way.
yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode, guys. And I really think that this is a very important topic that we cannot avoid. Uh, we are in the beginning of a bull run. Uh, you might have just a few dollars in crypto or a few $1,000 or whatever, but if you stay in this place long enough and if you don't do dumb shit, you will have more than that
Yeah.
very soon. And you will have probably life changing money very soon. And if that's the case, you don't want anyone to stick their nose on your shit,
Yep.
right? It's if it's just a couple of hundreds or a couple of thousands, it's not a big deal. But when you have good money in this space, first of all, you don't want to lose it, right?
Yeah.
So
And
you have to
second
have
of all, you don't
security.
want everybody to know about it.
Yeah. So this is very important to be talked right now, because in this bull run, your situation in crypto might change for better. We all hope, right? So probably you will get more interested in these topics, right? So stay tuned. join us in the next episode, and we will
Let's go
continue.
for a little bit of the monkey stuff. Don't forget to like and press the subscribe button. Also,
I am
press
assuming
the
that
bell.
you.
Press the bell. Well,
I'm assuming
I
that you
forgot about it.
already did your
No.
stuff,
People need to
right?
be reminded. Also, press the bell so that you can get notified about further videos.
It's there.
And
There.
and you can always get to us, send us messages, questions, and doubts that you may have, and subjects that you would like us to hear talking about. We have our social media links down below.
Join us on Telegram if you want direct link with us. Just go there and say hi, and ask around. There's the community there to talk with about all topics, blockchain and Web3 and development and security. So join us in our mission to decentralize the world
Wisely.
and see you in the next episode, guys.
It was a fun one.
Cheers.
In the next one. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.